Say hello now, here we go. It's kicking it, cruise control, and we're kicking it. Daytime, and we're kicking it. All together, and we're kicking it. Oh, oh. Kicking it, cruise control, and we're kicking it. Daytime, and we're kicking it. All together, and we're kicking it. Oh, oh. Kicking it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Kickin' It with Kruse. Happy. What's this? Thursday, guys. Happy Thursday. Welcome back. Everybody's having a great day. Happy to be back here on a Thursday. Of course, we're changing the schedule up a little bit back and forth with the new week, new kind of era right here. You know, got the night show Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Hopefully Tuesday, Thursdays for the morning show. Always happy to be here, guys. Always a lot going on. Thanks for joining us as people pop in. We'll have a good time, but also welcome Miss Lexi Love. What's up, Lexi? How you doing?
Everybody who loves me, y'all here. Y'all know. I'm back with some heavy critical takes on things.
Bringing in those heavy critical takes all the time. How you been?
Been all right. Been doing some weird stuff.
Doing some weird stuff. Okay.
I did a photo shoot with a bunch of girls in scream masks and ghost face masks.
So it's just like a Halloween thing?
It's a TikTok trend, and I guess it's also like just an internet trend, like sexy ghost face stuff. So it's like we're trying to hop on internet trends. And that was my first time working with like a larger group of girls on like a photo shoot. A lot of my stuff I either shoot myself or I shoot with like one friend kind of thing. So I don't usually work with large groups of people. I definitely towered over the other girls, but
It's okay. It's okay.
it's good. It's good experience.
I would say better to tower than to cower, you know?
Yeah.
But I thought that was great. I saw those pictures and I was like, Halloween spirit. I keep thinking it's October. I'm like, I can't believe it's October already. It's blowing my mind.
It's not feeling as Halloween as it could. And they put out so many horror movies like last month and the month before that it's like we got a good amount of horror this year, but like they've put it out at weird times. It wasn't really like anything like really standout was it coming out in this month. It was really September. September was really like a stellar month for horror, if that was your bag.
It was like leading into the Halloween season kind of too. It's like
they released Weapons around that time, and they had Long Walk, which isn't really a horror movie, but it's still Stephen King. It still falls in that realm. It's still ultra violent, you know. And then we had The Good Boy that just came out, the one about the dog. That's a horror movie.
Good boy.
That looks excellent, by the way. That looks really, really good.
It got like great ratings.
Very good. So, I mean,
I was talking about that with like some of my friends, and they're like, "What's Good Boy?" And it's like it's getting great ratings. They're like,
I love the concept. I think the concept's incredible. I love stuff like that. Things where you step way outside the box. So,
I mean, see, I think it was like I looked it up on Rotten Tomatoes before. It was something like in the 80s or something like that for
good.
Excellent. Yeah,
because you know what wasn't
91%, 91% critics.
Okay, that's a good rating. But you know what doesn't have a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes and deserves a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes?
What's that?
Halloween 3. Halloween 3 is the best Halloween. There are no other Halloweens that are worth watching. Only Halloween 3. Stop pretending. Stop pretending that it's not good. It's the only one that's good. All of it's the only one that's interesting because it's the only one that followed the concept of what they were supposed to do with Halloween. The whole point of Halloween was that they were supposed to put out one movie every year that was a different theme. It was supposed to be an anthology horror thing because the asshole came in and did the second film based on the first character. When the third film came out, everybody's like, "Where's Myers? We don't need Myers. We got magic haunted masks made with pieces of the what is it? The Stonehenge." And they like
I do not remember this at all.
I was like, and it's Horny. I was like, this is the best movie I've ever seen. I watched it last night again, and I was like, man, this movie is so good. People are wrong in every conceivable way. This is the best Halloween.
Ancient masks from Stonehenge. What?
They cut pieces out of Stonehenge, and that's what they make the silver shamrock
Yeah,
logo. They put them on the masks, but they're like enchanted. But when they pull them off the masks, they look like they're microchips. So
I
I'm
have.
really like, I don't understand. But like, the movie's awesome, and then that kills kids. And any movie that kills kids is an A in my book.
We do not promote violence upon children and Kickin with Kruse.
That's why I want to see Weapons so bad. It's about like kids, killer
Weapons
kids.
was great.
Yeah.
They're
No,
doing a
I've
prequel
always
to that too.
appreciated the boldness of a film that's willing to kill kids, especially films from like the 80s where they were really like, it was so taboo. When I was a kid growing up, you saw another kid die in a movie, you're like, oh my god, they
It was,
killed the kid. Like,
yeah,
that's like so unheard of. And that and the dog. It's like, you don't kill the kid and you don't kill the dog. Now
yeah,
they
those
kill
are the big
kids and
things.
dogs and everything. It's like we've broken against that trope, but like back in the day, that was so taboo.
Yeah, it was not a thing. That just didn't do that. And then, and even the dog thing though, still too, they still will like be careful with dogs and not touch them because it's like if you hurt dogs, it's not going to do great. You know, it's that people be like,
Yeah.
people will freak out about it. They'll just freak out about. I freak out about it too, right, Peppy?
Oh, he be
What you can
bugging
kill a cat
out.
all day? How come you can kill a cat all day, but you can't kill a dog? I'm like,
Well, because cats are vicious, evil aliens from a demon baby hell. I don't know. Cats are crazy.
girls doesn't mean that you have to like,
I do love cats though.
I love cats. They're my favorite animal.
Cats are great, but people like look at cats like, what is that thing thinking? You know, but probably because dogs are so like cuddly and in your face, and cats sometimes like, yo, on my watch, guys. Hold on, paw up.
Wait.
Hold on.
Brian, if it's one thing I'm known for, it's my love of pussy.
Mm-hmm. There you go. And also horror films. As you were talking about, let's talk about that last walk fast. Let's just talk about this very quickly. The long walk very fast, guys. So Long Walk came out. I still need to watch it, okay? I'm going to tell you the truth, but I still am very excited about it. I want to get Lexi's take on this. $47 million made on a $20 million budget, 88% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, 85 critics are our audience. So people are loving this movie. And Mark Hamill was excited about this too. When he came in there, Lexi was talking about how, read the script, he was super stoked, and that he was going to do a lot of things, but he was just like, I never thought before I'd play roles like this. And then like he gets those chances. Like the Joker kind of opened that up for him though, I think too. And he was talking about, he's so good, he's a great villain.
He's such a good voice
Flash.
actor. So like when he does his character work, he really becomes whatever he becomes. He's a very underrated character actor. He's probably one of the best in the industry because he's been doing voice work for so long.
So long. Was he in it that much though? Was he in the whole movie, or is he kind of just this?
Here's my issue with that. I'm a fan of the book. So I read the book when I was a kid. My mom had the Bachman books that were all like in one anthology kind of thing. I used to read it all the time. And The Long Walk and The Running Man are two of like my all-time favorite Richard Bachman stories. I think Stephen King's Bachman stuff is some of his best work. And it's because it's not horror. Like it's his opportunity to step outside of where he's typecast and try things that he's not able to do under his normal pen name. That's why he started Bachman, was to try other things. And I really think he was ahead of the curve on the whole dystopian game show thing. Like he really Running Man is a dystopian game show. This is a dystopian.
It's a great movie.
And like he wrote these like back in I believe the 70s. So it's like way ahead of the curve on like Squid Games, because it's like you wouldn't have Squid Games without The Long Walk or The Running Man or any of that.
I believe that. 100%
It's
believe that.
very much interesting to look at like Stephen King being a catalyst for so much of the dystopian, poor people game show kind of stuff where they make them do horrible things, and he really saw that future. So this is very much in line with what we as entertainment consumers are used to now. Like this is a with Squid Games and all that kind of stuff, and we've seen it done so well, which I have said repeatedly, Squid Games is probably one of the best pieces of media I've ever watched, just from an acting standpoint alone. I'm like, the actors express so much emotion. There's so much to take in. They really do a great job of making me feel the demise of these characters when it happens, and you watch it going into it knowing full well that everybody's going to die. And so I think that's the same thing with The Long Walk, is that you're going into this film knowing full well that you need to build a relationship with these characters, and you need to know why you're here slowly, and you need to
Care for them.
when they die, because you want to care for them when they die, because the impact should be stronger. So Mark Hamill's character in the film comes up constantly in conversation. He's always talked about. He's always this omnipresent sort of like being of destruction that exists in this future where he kind of seems to be the top of the authoritarian chain, and he seems to be the guy who runs so much of it. So because of how important he is and how much he's spoken about, they don't spend enough time with him on screen, and they don't give us enough time with him to develop that relationship that we needed to hate him. So
I figured that was the case.
And it's not that what he's doing is poor in his performance. His performance is amazing, excellent. He's killing it. Like, I wanted more time with this guy. I wanted to hate him, but I really didn't, because I just didn't have the opportunity to hate him. What we hate more in that film is the idea and the system, rather than the people that are running it. And we really should be hating who's running it, because all the people who are doing the walk hate who's running it. And that's, a lot of them are why they're there, are sort of, to go back against the system.
Why does the walk even happen though? Like what's
the walk has no, I think like they don't really explain like what the purpose of it is. It seems that like it's used like almost like as a patriotic recruitment tool. So it's like, if you are a man, you can do the walk. The walk will give you everything that you need. The walk will provide you for life. The walk is something that everybody enters. It's a lottery system. You enter it out of not really like thinking about it. You get chosen for it. You don't really necessarily see the outcome the way it is because of how they broadcast it and all that kind of stuff. And it's regarded,
this is gonna change my life. I'm gonna make so much money. I'm gonna be able to.
Very reminiscent of a world that we live in now, where if Donald Trump will say, or not even Donald Trump, like just I guess like the current system,
45, 47, 46, 40, 45, 47.
Yeah, but like the current,
I know that'll get us sometimes.
I feel like the heightened patriotism that we have going on in our country, the kind of heightened patriotism that goes beyond asking questions, the kind that reaches a level where you're just like in it. I think that degree of patriotism and loyalty to your country is what this movie is essentially kind of touching on, in that it's less like a game show, like a Mr. Beast games where there is a choice and all that kind of stuff, and more of a government run. It's your duty as an American to enter. It's your duty to give the people what they need, which is the walk. The walk is regarded more like as like an action that helps society and that kind of stuff. So I think it's branded differently, almost branded as like joining the military.
This is something you do because you believe in your country.
The kind of stuff like when you were a kid and you were in school and like they came in and they were like, this is why you should join the Marines and this is why you should whatever. I could see that same thing going on about why you should join the long walk. But the walk itself is, you just walk at 3 miles an hour. You can't drop below 3 miles an hour. If you drop below 3 miles an hour, you're dead. And if you get to the end and you're the last one standing, then you win. And that's all it is. And
but technically, more people could get to the end, not just one, right? Technically?
Well, what happens is the body shuts down, right? Because you can't stop. Like, I mean, they walk in the movie over 500 miles straight, no stop, no sleep, no anything. No, you can't stop to take a shit. You can't stop to piss. You can't, eat. You can only eat.
Thanks for the love, John.
Like it's this consistent like movement that you can't break away from. So it creates psychosis. So you start mentally breaking down because of exhaustion, and your body physically starts breaking down because it's not meant to move like this. And so, like, your only limitations are your physical prowess going into it, essentially. Because like, if you can't handle consistently walking for 500 plus miles, that you're going to lose.
Which who could? I mean, maybe Forrest Gump. I mean,
who is capable of that? Like, what is it? Like, at the end of the day, the film's more of, a people story. It's we get to spend time with these kids, we get to learn about them, we get to learn about how things work. And I think the thing that really got me about this was, first of all, I had an amazing epiphany that Stephen King loves movies about making people walking from point A to point B. I'm like,
Just-
we've got this, we've got Stand By Me, we've got the Stand, we've
That's
got, I
true.
mean, how many movies can I sit here and come up with where someone's got to walk?
He's like, it
from
leaves
point
a forward motion for the narrative,
Yeah.
maybe. That's what he's saying. We're moving the narrative along. What's up, Queen?
Stephen King loves a good walk.
And he's like, you know what? I do a long walk this time. When he's writing this one, I need a longer walk.
But walking gives you the opportunity to have a conversation, right? And so what walking does as a tool is it opens up a medium of dialogue. All you can do in those moments is kind of like work with each other and talk to each other and figure that stuff out. And so when we go back and we look at something like a Stand By Me, Stand By Me had, 4 kids walking somewhere.
Yeah.
And at the time that they were cast in that role, they were not the powerhouses that we know today. These were all like one of their starter roles. Like, it was like some of them were more established, but some of them were also like getting their career started in that film. I make that statement because the performances that were given to us in Stand By Me are legendary. We still look back on those today and go, that was one of the most amazing films I've ever seen. Then look at a
Love that
film
movie.
like Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, so good.
And the long walk had a lot of feels about it that had very similar sort of conversations and ideas presented in Shawshank. And so I was like, what was it about this film, though, that it had all these elements? It had this Stand By Me element. It had that like Shawshank Redemption element. It had all the potential to really make me want to cry and want to be in it. But something felt hollow. Something felt off in the film. And even at its critical moments in the film, like the big moment where I really, like, I'm sitting in the theater and I'm like, why won't you cry? And I was like, I cry when I lose the remote control. Like, I cry at everything. Like, I am the easiest person to make cry, and I get very emotional when I watch movies. That's where a lot of my emotions come out. And so to not be able to have the emotional experiences that I have with this film in comparison to other films that are very similar in style and tone in the past, I was left wondering, was the film a failure? Was it a bad film? Or what is it that the system's doing so poorly nowadays? Because I think what it came back to was, it wasn't that the actors were doing a bad job. I think that I can't think of the main African American boy who's the like friends with the two main guys.
I'll
He was
pull up the IMDb actually for it, 'cause that's always helpful.
incredible. His performance in that was phenomenal, and the buddy that was with him, his performance was phenomenal, and the evil kid, he did a great job of being the evil kid, and like, I don't think Mark Hamill's performance was bad, but I think we didn't get enough time on screen with these people, and it's so funny to
Always
look at.
happens.
Like, it's funny
David
you look at
Johnson, Peter.
yeah, excellent,
Yeah.
excellent.
But that's I knew when I saw that trailer though, I'm like, oh, Mark Hamill's probably gonna be in the beginning and maybe in the end, and that'll probably be about it.
But it's funny how we complain so much about how movies are too long. And there's so many movies that we watch that are too long. And then you have this movie, and this movie needed another half an hour. I needed more time. I needed more time with Hamill. I needed more time to really, really build relationships with these characters. I needed to feel more in this story. I don't know where it was lacking in it. I'm not sure where I would correct it, because like, I don't think it was a bad film. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on my letterbox. So like, I didn't give it a poor rating at all. I think it was the best possible version of this film, because this is the film I always wanted to see. Like, when I was talking about how I read the book when I was a kid, that was when I went into film. I said, I want to make this movie. This is the movie I want to make. I want this movie more than any movie. And then I even reached a point where I was like, I don't even care if I make the movie. I was like, I just want to see The Long Walk made more than any movie I've ever wanted to see in my entire life. And so when this movie finally was coming out, I was like, I have to go see this in the theater. I don't have a choice. And I scrounged up like change and I went and saw this. And so like,
it's doing great though. It's already made like double its budget. So I mean, it did a really good job at the box office.
That it's doing well, and I'm so glad overall. But I think like a younger audience, it's perfect for. a younger audience who doesn't have the experience around what you and I have growing up. Growing up in the 90s, we grew up with some of the best dramatic works ever made, and we really grew up in like the best era for Stephen King content. Like they want to pretend like the 2010s and stuff, like they're doing good because they have special effects that are really nice and these things. But like the best Stephen King content really came out in the early 90s and the late 80s. Hands down. When you're talking films, translations, those sorts of things, like his best work is around that time period. George Romero is one of the most respectful people to Stephen King's work out of any director I've ever seen.
We're talking about The Long Walk there, William. But I think this is like one of those ones that were surprising people too. The trailers came out. People were excited about it. There was a buzz about it more than we've seen for Stephen King content in a while, I would say. And then, Mark Hamill, yeah, Queen, Luke Skywalker, Queen says was in this. Yeah, Luke Skywalker's in this. And I think that already drew people's attention right away when they saw that. And then, it was a smaller budget. So you're spending like $20 million on it. Which all you need to spend.
It's funny that the budget's $20 million because, like, when you read the book has people standing on the side of the road. So the one thing that differs, like, the movie differs a lot from the book in a few places, but like the one place I noticed in particular it differed was that people are not standing on the side of the road watching them. Yeah. And I know there are locations in the film where they do, but in the book it was more prevalent. Like they would sit there with signs, and there was a lot of discussion about how like girls would stand on the side of the road and like flash themselves at them. And
really?
There was a lot of those conversations about how some of these boys are still adolescent enough that like they've never had those experiences, and so they're walking to their death while also like becoming like superstars, like sexually. People will give them food, all that kind of stuff. People in Hollywood take all the sexual content out of Stephen King's works, and they kind of change it into something completely different when you take the sexual content out. And it's funny because Stephen King's works are some of the horniest things I've ever read. Like he's so horny. Really? Like honest to God, like if Cujo's horny, it doesn't need to be, but it is.
Cujo's horny.
Really horny, yeah. I was like, Cujo's one of my favorite Stephen King books. But yeah, his
work's really
they
are rebooting that still. We're still waiting for that to move forward. So,
and if they don't do the proper ending where the kid dies, I'm out again. I'm like, you gotta kill the kid because the kid's death. It's like this poor woman does everything, and then her kid dies, and she's like, it's like the most tragic ending ever. Stephen King is a master of the tragic ending. Maybe always it in the movies. I'm like, have you read his books? His movies do not have happy endings. He is not a happy man. So,
and those things actually draw people's attention more and cause more buzz when you have controversy like that. It just does.
I love that. I love a confusing, sad ending because that's how life is. A confusing, sad ending. It's not always happy. We don't always need a happy ending. It doesn't need to come out okay in the end.
Only in Disney.
Right.
And John, yeah, I know that 20K thing is crazy. When you hit 20K, that does happen. And also, Queen says no Cujo doesn't need a remake, and John said the dog is in heat. Yeah. Period.
That was a good joke. But I think
H-E-A-T.
I think eliminating the kids having the interactions with people on the side of the road took something away from the story too.
Yeah.
And I think that like the sets are very barren in comparison because by eliminating people standing on the side of the road, which I get the logistics of dealing with extras and dealing with all that kind of stuff, the kids are on like a very isolated road, and it seems to be in like it looks.
That's easier for production budget too.
Yeah, and I was like, it's a very flat, long kind of like piece.
Was the book
road.
That way too?
Yeah, I mean the book is about walking from like essentially one side of the country to the other. Like that's what the walk is. Like it's a stupid walk, but because you're just walking until you die, and whoever doesn't die wins.
And so there's no end point. There's no end point at all. They're just.
But the movie has an end point. There is that the kids.
So the point is that one person survives, and that's it.
Yeah, that's the only point of it outside of that factor. But
do they know that going into it? Do they know that there's like they don't know that then, right?
100%. They absolutely know what they're going into because they sign up for it. It's a lottery, and they film it. They run it on television. It's a national event that everybody is engaged with. It's like the Super Bowl, but only like on like a patriotic, deeper level. Like it's a hardcore like event that you participate in nationwide. So
wow, I really want to see this. I hope it's still in theaters right now because they pull these things so fast sometimes.
That's why when it came out on the 12th.
You got to go right away.
oh God, I don't have any time. And I was like, do I eat today or do I go see this movie? And I was like,
I go see the movie.
see this.
And William, the long walk is about like Lexi was saying, about a bunch of kids who are like pretty much entered into a lottery to do the long walk, and the last person stands pretty much gets a bunch of money, right? And they're set for life. Is that kind of the premise of the whole?
Basically, they get fiscally secure and they have one wish of anything in the entire world that they want of their choosing.
Man,
so the one kid was gonna like wish to end the long walk. Like that was one thing he wanted to do.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I mean, that'd be like, we're gonna end this forever, so people don't have to go through this.
Because the one character's dad is sort of like Antifa.
Okay.
In that world, and they find out that he is because he's letting his kid listen to music, and like because they shut down media, they restrict media, they restrict everything, they restrict every single thing part of your life. Like it's very like
crazy,
Nazi
crazy world that they live in.
Yeah,
and William, that's peppy.
I will say this: it's incredibly violent. The violence is through the roof.
Well, if you're going to be killing people off like that or taking people out, like, of course it's going to be violent, you would think. So I would hope they wouldn't hold back from that. Because sometimes they do that when they lower budget.
You know, I love a good violence. Like, I love some violence. But, like, there's this shot in the start of the movie, like, the first kid that they take out. And they put the gun to the kid's head, and they do this low angle, like, right near the kid's jaw. And the bullet goes through, and it just, like, blows the whole kid's jaw apart and everything. And I was like, whoa. This movie's violence is over the top. Like this was like anime grade, like unnecessary, like over the top violence. Because like you can headshot a person and have them just drop to the ground. These kids that need to like explode into pieces. You didn't need to run over them with a tank and have them, I mean like
yes they do.
Insane. It was insane. I love the violence. The violence was great. I think the violence actually upped the ante for me as far as like rating was concerned. When I left the theater, I was ready to give it a 5. But then when I was sitting in my car and I processed it, I went, wait a minute. And then I've like thought about it more, and I was like, it's not perfect. There's too many.
Nothing ever is, right? Nothing ever is.
But like, I mean, I'm pretty generous with my 5s. If you look at my letterbox, you'd be surprised at how much I actually give a 5. Halloween 3. That's 5.
that sounds like an experience. I gotta watch that again. William, it's Peppy that's in the chat. That's Peppy. That's Pep Star the dog and Long Walk for Short Pier. Horny horror flicks. Yep, horny horror flicks. And let's see what Queen St. Johnson over here. Wasn't the Mist film ending different than the book? I think it was, wasn't it? Didn't they change that too? The Mist.
From what I understand, I think it is different. Yeah, but I also know that there are 2 versions of the film that have different endings too.
And Cujo wouldn't happen the same way today because of cell phones. That's what Queen's saying. It would be like a 5-minute movie. Oh, I remember we talked about that before, Queen. Queen's like, if you're stuck in the car, you bring your cell phone out and you call for help. Yeah. If you have your smartwatch, talk to your smartwatch, and then they come help you.
Like, I think Cujo is probably one of my favorite books I ever read because, like, the story is really like about a moment, and it's so interesting in the fact that like the husband that she's dealing with in it, that the whole conversation about the cereal dyeing the kids' stomachs, like that whole thing, like that's a whole side part of the story that like the husband character is off dealing with all of this like lawsuit stuff with this company and the breakup stuff that's going on. And I think she was cheating on her husband. I think that's what it was. And that's all the thing. And then the car that she's driving is very significant because it's a Pinto, and it's talked about like in detail about like all the recalls on the Ford Pinto and why the Ford Pinto is such a piece of shit. And so like the car itself almost becomes a character because of how much detail he goes into explaining like why the car is the way it is. And so by having that time, having that explanation of the car combined with why she's getting it fixed, combined with whatever, it's just, it all comes to a head in this moment. And you're absolutely correct. Cell phones would get us out of that situation in like 2 minutes flat. And honestly, if they had a gun, they could have gotten out of that situation in 2 minutes flat too. But I mean, it's a great story, and like watching her try to figure this out and deal with this because the dog's rabid, so it's like on top of that,
they're
like,
going crazy.
By it.
So
it's not just like it's not just like dealing with the mean dog. Like we could get past a mean dog. It's that if the dog bites you, you'll die as well. Like it's infectious, so it creates this additional layer of like plague and all that kind of stuff. And the fact that the dog has also lost its mind and will not give up. And the kid
John
knows
said
the dog.
kids won't charge their cell phones, though, Lexi. If kids won't charge their cell phones, then that'll be how it works out. My cell phone's dead. And the next thing you know, they're being taken out by Cujo. Watch out for Cujo. The director of, and then also Tesla's trap people inside their cars. I didn't hear about that. Did they do that?
That's a good choice to do. You could do an electric car that like has all those systems that'll trap you in it because it's a piece of shit. Like that's a good way to go about it.
The battery's dead.
Yeah, happens all the time. The doors won't open, or the doors will freeze. There's that option too. But cold wasn't an option. They overheat in the book. That's the whole point. She doesn't know how to feed them because she doesn't have any water, and like the kid's like overheating in the car and dying, and the windows down because as soon as they do, the dog sticks its like face in the windows and stuff. So they're really really stuck.
Musk would cancel the film. That's what John says, and also.
Hey, you cancel that movie that had the highway full of Teslas on it, where they were coming to life on their own and throwing themselves at people.
I did not see that movie. What is this? What is that movie?
Worst piece of shit that I've ever.
He is trying to get people to cancel Netflix, though. That's a whole thing, right? He's trying to go after Netflix. So, he's trying to take on Netflix.
Is it because?
Well, that's probably part of it. You know how it goes. Not in his world.
About a show that was made 3 years ago that's made by a trans creator that has a trans character in the show as some like haunted whatever. I've never even watched it, never even heard of it, which it looks like something I would watch. But like apparently it came out 3 years ago and ended, and like that was one of the big things that Musk was going after was that show and some other stuff.
Like just let it be. Like there's content out there for everybody and all walks of life and original content. So just let it be. Like it's entertainment. Again, the biggest thing is about entertainment is like a distraction. So we can just get away from the real world sometimes. That's what Hollywood's all about. That's what movies are all about. We step away from it. We laugh. We all come together about we hate it. We love it. That's what this is all about here too. We can all be here together and laugh about stuff. And Queen says the director of Cujo was Louis Teague, who also did the Birds 2, which is also cool. I mean, I don't know like what they would actually do with the Cujo for directing. We'll find out. Hopefully they get a great director. Also, Queen said this too about The Long Walk we talked about before, was that no kids would actually do it these days because they're too lazy, which I'm like, I could kind of see that. The kids would be like, but if it's patriotic, then maybe it would be a reason to do it too. And William did say the same thing too. Could still work in the days of cell phones, dead batteries, drop the phone outside their car, will run into the car. So there is options for it, like we were saying, there's options. But we'll have to see what they do with that too. Cujo, The Long Walk. I'm excited about Lexi. I'm still going to watch The Long Walk. I'll check it out. I'm happy you liked it.
I think everybody should watch it. I don't think it's a film, like, even though I'm being harsh as I am with it, I think it's that my expectations are so high on something like this that I've waited so long for that I think I could have looked at it as a better film if I had had no expectations going into it, no understanding, and no whatever. I think
was the acting great too? Were the kids great? Were they all good performances?
Everybody's performance is good in it. Its biggest issue is holes in the story and just a lack of time with really building time with these characters to give me the necessary emotional impact that I needed to really walk away from that film and go, wow, that was something. Because it was pushing this is one of the most impressive films I've seen area. Like it was pushing into the Shawshank Redemption category.
Well, that's what I'm saying. These sometimes when you get these lower, more intimate settings and like smaller cast and not like this big grandioso environments and you just focus on the narrative, sometimes that's the best thing to watch. And you get to naturally feel for the characters. And of course, they're in a life and death situation. So at that point, like you're going, like you said before, you're going to lose some of these people along the way. You're going to see them. That's the whole point of the movie. And if you can, in that quick second, get that emotional attachment to carry through the movie, that's really gold right there. Doesn't happen a lot.
Once again, look at Squid Games. I know
I love Squid Game.
It's a TV show, but if we look at the second season, we got a shortened season. We still managed to build a relationship with these characters in 6 episodes. Like, I just think that the most important thing that you can do in any of these stories, in any story, in any story, but in particular, these kinds of stories. You have to give us time to build a relationship with characters so that when you kill them, the impact feels personal.
Yeah.
We want it to feel personal. We want to feel slighted. We want
Piece
that
of you is
emotion
gone now.
because we just lost something that we built an attachment to. That is what keeps a film's impact with you forever, because they killed so and so, and I'll never forget that. You know what I mean? That's what you want.
Yeah, and they do that well in this. It sounds like I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see. I'm gonna check it out. And Queen said, "Why remake Cujo? We're going back to the Cujo thing." Well, because everyone wants to see more of his content, and also original content doesn't happen as often as we want it to these days.
You want to see more of Stephen King's content? There's fucking piles of his movies you've not made yet. You could stop remaking things. I think it comes down to
No.
There's a whole discography of Stephen King's work that you have yet to touch. I'm so proud of Hollywood for finally looking at Richard Bachman. I'm so proud of them for finally going down that road. It's like Stephen King has made the same shit forever and ever and ever. It's like he hasn't. Like Dark Tower alone is a science fiction, weird, fantasy, whatever. I'm like, and every fan of that's been begging Hollywood to make a series out of it, a movie or whatever. You don't do it right. You don't know what you're doing with that. I like, there's so much stuff out there that
Didn't they do that? They did a movie about the Dark Tower, didn't they?
Was in it. I liked it, but I don't know anything about the Dark Tower. So everybody who's a fan of the Dark Tower was like, that was the biggest piece of shit I ever watched.
I know people kept saying that about. I mean, I watched it. I thought it was good. You had Matthew McConaughey, Idris Elba. You know, what I mean, it was a pretty big cast, and but people hated it. They ragged on. What was the? I wonder how much it actually made. I bet it didn't do well at all, which is sad because isn't there like a series of those that they were going to do with them?
Yeah,
they were going to do more than one.
Slinger and all that kind of stuff. The Dark Tower, yeah.
It's
Stephen King is the Madonna of the book world, where it's like everybody has at least one Madonna song that they're cool with, and they've been around for so long that at some point you're gonna find a Madonna song that you're probably pretty cool with, or the Beatles. But like, I always use Madonna as a better example for me, anyway.
My brother loved Ray of Light. He would jam to that all the time going to school.
There's always been at least
like Ray of Light
you can get down with. So there's always one Stephen King book out there that's for you.
Yeah, the Dark Tower made $113 million on a $60 million budget, so they doubled their money. That's pretty big, and they didn't do any more. But that's how it goes. The critics spoke, and they were done. And the critics, Lexi, right now are speaking about something else, and that would be Tron Ares, because Tron Ares is coming out this weekend, and I know I want to see it. We're gonna see it together at some point here. We're gonna make this happen. But they're looking at like about 90 million opening weekend, which isn't tremendous, but it's not a big bomb, but it's not tremendous. Of course, the biggest thing people are talking about last night are saying is the score is great, and people are saying Jared Leto's performance is great, but advanced tickets at 7 million, which is pretty on line with like Alien Romulus, about 7 million for pre-sales, and we're probably looking at around 7 to 8 million opening for Thursday, for tonight. We'll have to wait and find out soon. Sad news about Tron Ares. I say too, it's like it's not going to be a colossal success by any means. Doesn't seem like that. Where the critics are kind of coming after it too.
It never was going to be. We're talking about a third Tron film. I'm like, what's the spacing between Tron films? I mean,
like 10 years.
3. It's like that's
15 years.
I'm like, and that's saying something, because I'm like I love Tron. You love Tron.
I love Tron too.
We certainly love Tron. Yeah. But we are very much in a minority. Since day one, since we've been talking about Tron, we have talked about how we were in a minority for loving the second film.
People hate it.
It's a franchise. It's still like, not one of the biggest properties. It's like that property that Disney has that they really want to throw in a trash bin, but they just kind of like dig it out every once in a while and go, what about we try some more Tron?
What about Tron? What's up, Chase?
Like, as a fan of Tron is wonderful. And every time they bring it out, I'm always enthusiastic about it. And I'm really glad to see that the second Tron film is now getting a resurgence. There's a really big cult following around it now, and people are looking back on it now and saying it's actually a brilliant film.
It was a great film.
It was a brilliant film.
Sans the face. The face was weird.
Like, I don't understand. People are like, the only thing that made it good was Daft Punk. I'm like, no, Daft Punk made it better. I'm like, it was already good. I'm like, I don't need Daft Punk on top of it being amazing. You just made the best film ever. I'm sorry. Like, I don't, and Nine Inch Nails for the soundtrack, and the fact they like basically are essentially coming out of retirement to do the soundtrack, and what
It's
I've
pretty
heard from the
cool.
soundtrack is incredible. I mean, anybody who would complain about that would be insane. He's one of the best digital artists out there.
Yeah.
So
And I'm hearing the soundtrack's great, and it's like in line with some of the themes that they did with Daft Punk did with Tron Legacy. But it's still hard to top that Tron Legacy soundtrack. It was so good. And Herp Nerp, that's not me again. That's not me. But it was so good. And the thing is about that, the people are saying about it too, though, is that Daft Punk had that theme, dun 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 dun.
yeah.
That went through the whole thing, and there's no like real theme in this one, which I think is a miss. That's your theme. I don't know. Automan? I don't know. I don't know Automan there, Queen. He looked like a character from Tron. I haven't heard of. I've checked out Automan.
Automan was the superhero who turned into a car.
Automan. Oh, this does look like Tron. 100%. This is
was cool.
Was this like a rip-off of Tron? They're really trying like let's just do Tron, but on a lower budget type deal, like they do like the Transmorphers.
Guy who turns into a car.
He turns into a car? I see him in the car. What the heck is Automan?
Like kind of like light car, yeah.
What the heck? This is totally Tron. I'm gonna pull a picture up right now, guys. This is totally Tron. And so if you didn't see this before, like tell me it's not Tron too. There's no way that's what would they think? I mean, how'd they not get copyright infringement right here? I don't know. Because again, he just changed this a little bit. It also looks like Starman a little bit, like Jeff Bridges' Starman from this picture. A little bit like that too. But Automan. So he turns into a car, a galactic car. Queen, I like Automan. Ever seen bad actor documentary on Hulu who played the Netflix? I have not seen that, John. I haven't seen it either. I gotta check out this Automan. This is something interesting, and maybe I'll love it because if it isn't as bad, I love Tron, and and so people will say that's bad. But maybe this will have a resurgence.
Superhero film that I want to see done again, and that's
Which one?
Condor.
Condor?
You remember Condor? I know Queen knows Condor. The guy's got like the huge wings, the condor-sized wings to fly with.
I'm gonna look this up. Condor.
Condor was great.
I don't know. Giant wings. I have no idea what this is. Giant wings. No idea. It's funny. I look up Condor and I get actual real condors. So he was so handsome. Queen said, "Oh, look at that, Automan. He was so handsome." Ooh, Queen. Queen. Queen said yesterday too. I think you saw Lexi. She's like, I like guys with mustaches. Mustaches are in.
Yeah.
I don't know if they really are. Kids say there are, but I don't know. I'm gonna see Tron. We're gonna see Tron. We're gonna make it happen, Lexi. But I think people are gonna actually love this movie more than we think they will, and they actually see it.
I think so too. And the more I see trailers for it and stuff, the more I'm hyped for it. Like, I don't like the whole going into the real world aspect of it, but I'm very open to watching and seeing what you present to me. And yeah, I've heard Jared Leto did a good performance, but let's not lie to ourselves. Just because we don't like Jared Leto, the human, doesn't mean that Jared Leto is not an incredibly accomplished actor. He's an incredible actor. Stop pretending Jared Leto sucks because he sucks in reality. He sucks in reality. He's a terrible human being. He has a cult. Like, he's an absolute weirdo.
And it's
he's
weird
actor.
Weird relationships with young women. Weird relationships with young women too.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
I'm like, James Franco is a phenomenal actor. He's also a creep and a terrible person in reality.
And that's why he's not on air anymore. That's why he's not working anymore.
It's just like there are tons of people in this world who we have come to learn are truly, truly awful people in so many ways. Honestly, Tom Cruise is not that great of a human being. He's a phenomenal actor.
I love Tom Cruise.
Phenomenal actor. Great to work with.
I love Tom
Great
Cruise.
to work with. I've heard, like, in his own personal life, like, he's not a good person. Yeah. And Scientology is a big part of that.
Look, the thing is, he kind of pushed that aside a little bit, I would say, in the past few years to kind of, fix his persona and his presence in the media. But I would say this too, that whole thing that happened still with Franco with the acting school, that's not far from me right here, where he's getting the girls like naked and having them run scenes and like getting like really weird. And I mean, like, what are we doing here?
There's only two people in the world who I genuinely believe are like the greatest human beings to ever live. And that's Keanu Reeves and our good friend Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob's great. And Keanu Reeves is also fantastic though too. I can't wait to see
such a good human being.
His new movie looks so great. The one where he's like Gabriel.
Great. I love that he doesn't give a fuck. He
Yeah.
just does whatever he wants. I'm like, you do it. You're
He's still
funny.
pushing for Constantine 2 as well. They got like a third draft for Constantine 2.
Constantine was a piece of shit, and you need to just step away from it. You
Come
need
on.
to give up on that one. Constantine was terrible.
I
I'm
would
a huge
watch it.
fan of John Constantine. I'm a huge fan of Hellblazer. I'm a huge fan of the character. I love the modern takes that DC's taken on that character. I don't want to see us go back to that film. I'm like, and I would really need you to give him blonde hair if you're going to do this again. You've got to give Constantine blonde hair. I'm like, I don't understand. He's British. He's a British blonde guy. He's in a punk band.
Yeah, I agree 150%.
Can we get the proper Hellblazer? I'm like, proper Hellblazer is so cool. Like, the movie wasn't cool. I'm like, why did you make this cool?
Maybe you have the guy who did like Weapons do something like that too. He's doing Resident Evil now, Krager. Like have directors like that understand those art forms, understand that like grittiness.
I don't even know about this Resident Evil. Are we trying to finally accurately make it based on the games, or are we redoing the Paul Anderson bullshittery?
So
Paul
Krager,
Anderson is so bad.
Zach Krager was saying that he wanted to touch on the first games with the mansion and all that, but it is still going to be a kind of an adaptation of that. But he's been using the source material more than they did before, and he did Barbarian. He did Weapons. I mean, I don't know. He has a great look and a great directing.
Barbarian.
So I think it could be great. I mean, I'm really excited to see what he does with Resident Evil. But it is a whole new reboot for the franchise, and he's spearheading the whole thing. Talking about bringing original actor or characters in, the original characters like Jill Valentine, and actually bringing Chris Redfield in, and actually bringing those characters in. So we're going to see. That's what he's working on right now.
Resident Evil films, if you're ever interested in watching really good Resident Evil films, the CG Japanese Resident Evil movies are amazing. They're like so good. Some of the best like films I've ever watched.
Even the Netflix, didn't Netflix have a series that looked really cool that was animated?
The show was so stupid.
Was it?
I watch anything involving zombies. So even if I know it's going to be a piece of shit, I watch it because zombies are like my go-to. And so anything involving Resident Evil, I tend to watch regardless of knowing if it's going to be good or not. And that show was so interesting and such a good idea, but it wasn't Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Like, it was not Resident Evil at all. And it's so far outside the source material that we couldn't, in good conscience, even consider it that.
They tried that too with that Lance Reddick series too on Netflix as well, which I didn't think was like, they had the Hive kind of again, and they had like the little community above the Hive. It kind of worked, but it wasn't really Resident Evil to me either. I'm like, the Resident Evil really have the original characters, Raccoon City. Let's get the mansion involved. Let's not have the Beehive thing. I know a Queen said she liked the Mila Jovovich version. I like the first one, I think, but then they did like what 8 or 10 or 12 of them. They did a lot of those. I mean,
There's at least 8.
It's like 8,
9.
right?
There's 9. If I'm not mistaken, there might be 9 of them. Those
It
movies
might be.
don't get until like the 4th one.
Yeah.
When you get to the one where she's in the desert and they kind of become their own thing, that's when those movies become good. Then there's that one where she like flies an airplane and lands it on the roof of a building.
Oh yeah, that's
That
pretty cool.
But like,
Was that
outside
third
of
one?
those,
Was
those
the fifth
ones,
one?
oh, the third one's either the desert one or the second one's the one where they introduce Jill Valentine and she has the acting prowess of a fucking porn star. But I mean, pitiful performance. I've never seen anybody act so bad in my entire life. And I watch fucking U-Bowl films.
You're like, not great. And also, what that comment too, John Leonardo DiCaprio likes him too young too. Diddy #1 list. Yeah, I like Leo though. He's a nice guy, but yeah, he definitely wasn't the Diddy list. Disappointed. Constantine, Queen said, and they used the title as a cash grab until dawn. Like Until Dawn. Yeah, I mean, a lot of cash grabs. But I do think that if they can do this new Resident Evil justice, I would go check it out. And I hope they do. I like the Zach Krager. He's been doing some great material. It makes me more excited about Resident Evil than I have in a long time. And the initial workings are there's more source material stuff in it. So,
I mean, there are 8 games in the series as well as side games. So if you if you take away just the titled numeric games, there's probably close to 13 or 14 games in the series. There are 9 poorly made films. There are about 4 or 5 really well done animated CG Japanese films. I mean, Resident Evil is not small. If you're
No.
looking for content for it, it's out there. There are books. The books are not good either. Like the novelizations.
Virtual reality games too, arcade games. They've done like everything.
That kind of stuff. You know, a movie would be really great to see. Honestly, like I would love to see a high budget. If you want to make a video game movie that would really hype people up properly, give us the Half-Life movie.
I think that's something they've been talking about for a while too.
And like he's such a great protagonist. Like it's the fact that it's just a scientist, like just trying to like survive. Like it's a really good protagonist. And I don't know.
Could happen. The video game stuff is blowing up these days. Like getting more opportunities for games.
High budget behind it. A Half-Life movie could be one of the best films you've ever seen. Like all hands down. I mean, it's an alien invasion film, so there's plenty of opportunity for like Cloverfield grade like cataclysms going on. There's a wonderful array of interesting creatures in the film. Creature effects could be really fun. There's a lot of opportunity for great movie.
Maybe Bezos will grab it and do it on Amazon because he did with Fallout. He did something like that. You know, if that's such a big success for him too, they might gravitate to more franchises like that. And of course, Halo moved over to Netflix now, and they're talking about a season 3 of that.
I could have never imagined that the Fallout show would be as good as it is.
It's so good.
It had too many cooks in the kitchen that I did not want in that kitchen. And I was like, oh, it turned out okay. You guys made a good pie this time.
I do think that like Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy are a great combination. I have to work with them on Westworld. Like they're really great. And I think they are the reason why that's working. I think it is. They're great at the sci-fi. They're great with that.
You know what scares me about what you just said, though?
What's that?
That they were the guys who did Westworld. The first season of Westworld is one of the best things I've ever watched.
Yes, it was.
The second season is probably one of the worst things I've ever watched. And the third season is unwatchable.
Yeah. And then the fourth season was getting back on track. And the fifth season was supposed to happen to wrap it all up. And then it got canceled.
I never even saw the fourth. Because they took it off of HBO. So
it's all on Tubi now, I think. I think you can watch it all on Tubi. Because Zaslav did some kind of deal to put a bunch of content on Tubi. So I think it might still be on Tubi right now if you want to go and watch it. But they were setting it up to have Dolores get back to Westworld.
Just to see it get to the end. I don't like Evan Rachel Wood or whatever. I don't like her as an actor. She's a terrible actor.
I gotta tell you, one thing she did that was really cool on Westworld one day is it was like 115 degrees where it was like season 2. There's a big fortress and it was so hot where it would like burn through the soles of your shoes when you're walking on the ground. It was that hot. And everybody's like dropping like flies and they're trying to go into meal penalties just to keep shooting through lunch. And she's like, no, we're not doing this. Like, no, we're going to keep rolling. And they're like, hey, camera's up. And she just walked off the set, got into a van and went to lunch. And we had to call lunch because she's like, people are passing out. It's the middle of the day. This is insane. And she stopped it. So people could have an extra break. I'm like, I got mad respect for her when she did that. Because she's like, no, do you see what's happening around here? And they didn't care. They're just like, go, go, go. That's kind of how they were on that series. So they were just like, whatever. Oh, it was insane. It was insane. I mean, that was a brutal. People did not want to work on that show because it was just so brutal. Because of course they'd shoot like at the hottest time in like the hottest area in Los Angeles, and it was just like, what are we doing right now? And then when we're shooting like at night, it was like the coldest time. So it was crazy. It was an experience. I'll never not want to do it, but like I look back at like, whew, those were some tough days on set. These were.
As someone who shot in the Nevada desert on multiple occasions, I completely understand.
You get it. It's like, it's too much sometimes. It just, it's just like, what are we doing right now? But, we'll see if they do. Maybe season 2 will be good. Maybe they got this series figured out more than they had with Westworld where it went forward. We'll have to wait and find out. We do know there's more Ballard coming. I don't know if anybody really cares about this, but season 2 of Ballard's coming. I know I was just kind of like, how's getting the second season? Good for you, Maggie Q. Good for you. The Bosch spinoff getting the second season. So they apparently
spinoff.
Yeah, there's like already a couple Bosch spinoffs happening now. So you had Bosch happen, and then you had the spinoff about his daughter, and then you have the Ballard spinoff. There's one about J. Edgar happening still. That's in development. And so they're just making money. I mean, those novels though, Lexi, they had a lot of novels, right? So you think about where they could go with the Harry Bosch franchise. They're just looking at the money. So they're just gonna keep pushing those.
I thought that was just like a TV show.
Yeah, no, it's based off a whole line of books, the whole novel series.
Not interesting to me.
And then
Not
the
even.
writer actually consulted on all the series too. The writers involved all of it. So,
That's great though.
yeah, keeping it true to the story.
More writers involved in the serializations of their works, whatever
Yeah.
they are.
They should be involved. I mean, honestly, it's like that helps keep it true to the narrative, and also helps the fans that love that too to have that the breadcrumbs and also the through line that made it successful from the get go. And
My
if they don't
favorite
do that,
story of a writer involving themselves in the creation of like a film is the old interview with the vampire stories with Anne Rice.
oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
she was like, nope. She would go on set and she'd just be like, we're not doing this. This is not
Really?
happening. What are you even doing here? She was furious that Tom Cruise was cast. She was
oh,
absolutely livid that Tom Cruise was cast. She's like, he's too short. She's like, the stat's supposed to be this tall. They're like, we're going to put lifters on him. She's like, he can't do that role. She went in and was like, told them, she's like, no, he can't do it. And then he met with her and
Yeah.
like, I could do this. And then she was like, fine, I accept. He proved himself to me, and that's the only reason I accept up to that point. It was like, wow, like,
had to win her over.
all of that.
I love that too. But then again, you're the person that knows these characters inside and out. Like when you're writing them, you visualize them a certain way. So that's tough to like decipher. It's
Like,
tough
at
to
the
break
end of
that.
the day, it's your work. I'm like, someone coming in and translating your work. That's great. It's my fucking work.
Yeah. It's my work. What are you thinking? What are you thinking now? This is my story. This is my narrative. And Anne Rice hasn't been successful in other media. That's what Queen says. Yeah, but you know what? Maybe
Very good human being. Let's be honest here. She's really gone off the deep end. You know what kills your career is when you spend 30 plus years writing horny vampire horror and then go, you know what, I am a Christian and I don't condone any of my old works.
that's
like,
not great.
Yeah, that kind of shuts your base down.
You're basically wait, what's that? We want more of that horny vampires. Why don't you gonna write some more horny vampires? You're great at that. Keep bringing that out. And if you don't do that,
and like, let's not lie to ourselves here. She makes the best horny vampires. The best. They are the industry standard of horny vampire. Like, hello, there is nothing Twilight can do that Anne Rice wouldn't step all over 50 times.
Well, I'd say, speaking of horny vampires, we got that Lost Boys musical coming, guys. The Lost Boys musical. I mean, this is a funny thing to me too. This is a Broadway production, so musical based off the Lost Boys. Set to launch April 26, 2026. And guys, I'm telling you right now, if you've ever watched the Lost Boys, if you love that, get ready for the two teenage boys who move with their divorced mother to that new city where it's run by vampires. You know, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna admit something to you, Lexi. I have never watched or read or anything with the Lost Boys before.
Oh, are you serious?
Never seen the Lost Boys. I know it's like one of those biggest things out there.
It's the horniest movie. Like,
I've heard that. I've heard it's super horny.
I was like, I watched it recently with Rachel, and I was like, this is the horniest movie I've ever watched. And I was like, I see why my mom was into this, and then I was like, ew, gross. But like, my mom had that movie going on the TV all the time when I was a kid growing up, so it was like a big part of my household, and I was just like, it's shocking like how horny it is. It's just like, and everybody in it just looks hot, and everybody's just being hot, and it's just like this really hot movie. But like, the focus of the film is the kids. The kids are actually like the main focus of the film. And then like the film ends, and it's pretty much a PG-13 film until you get to the ending. And then you have like the most brutal, disturbing on-screen kills I have ever seen in my life. Oh,
they spent the whole budget on the ending and went nuts, huh?
The ending is insane. I was like, damn, this movie's fucking not even sure what it wants to be. It doesn't even know what it is.
Yeah, the two Corey's Queen.
The best like vampire movie though is Near Dark. Like Near Dark.
I haven't seen Near Dark.
Near Dark's really, really good. If you want horny vampires, that's a really good horny vampire.
I'm gonna change this name to Horny Vampires for this title.
The ending of Near Dark is inexcusably bad. Like, so bad. The person who did Near Dark is... I can't think of the director's name. It's that woman, Catherine Bigelow. Catherine Bigelow. The one that married, was married to James Cameron.
Oh, yeah. Didn't she also do Hurt Locker? Yeah. I see this pictures right here. Man, this does look pretty brutal right here. Just a little stills from Near Dark. I was thinking for some reason I went to that movie where they're in the Antarctic and there's like vampires or zombies happening with Josh Hartnett. That's
30 Days a Night.
yeah, and Ben Foster. For some reason,
they get like 30 days of being able to hang outside and stuff.
Yeah, for some reason my brain went that way. Queen loved Near Dark. I fought for the South. And then, and Queen, I think what we were talking about being a person of faith is like when you can become a person of faith, but like, honestly, like, ditching all of what you've been writing and what you've been, like your content that your fans have been loving and because you change your faith, I think is like going against your fan base though too. I think like,
Absolutely. You're a human being. You're allowed to live your life however you see fit. But don't be shocked when you make choices sometimes that will alienate a huge base of people who have been around you for a long time, no matter what those choices are.
Yeah. I mean, it happens a lot of times. That's we always talk about that in the business here too. It's like when actors stand up and say something or directors or producers, and it just like ruins movies and ruins box office because again, you're losing your fan base sometimes. And that's a big thing you got to be careful with when you're actually putting anything out there, especially when it's premiering. Like get the Snow White thing. You know what I mean? We talked about the Snow White thing about how Rachel Zegler kind of like put a nail in the coffin for that too. So
Rachel Zegler doesn't seem to like she wants to have a career in Hollywood at all.
That's why she went and did theater for a while over in London, and now she's stepping away for a while. So I think maybe she'll come back around. You never know. Maybe.
She's not worth the effort. Like that's the side of it. Like it's not like she's some great talent that we're trying to hold on to or whatever. It's like she wasn't really all that great to begin with. We're very unfamiliar with her overall, and now you're just shooting your career in the foot. I'm like, you could have owned that.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
there's plenty of ways to talk about things that are bothering you in your films. Like when you look at like the Harry Potter stuff all these years later and all of them coming forward and being like, we support this community, not that community, and this is not how this should be run, and we're not okay with this and that kind of stuff. Like that's fine. When your film is coming out, you don't sit there when your film's coming out and like destroy your film like openly on the circuit. The only thing stupid in that was when Jennifer Lawrence was sitting there talking about Passengers and going, "Oh man, this movie was a piece of shit. I'm embarrassed I did this," only because people were coming out and saying, "What the hell is this movie?
Yeah, what is this movie? What are we doing?"
By the way, Passengers, one of the most disgusting films I've ever seen in my entire life.
The Chris Pratt one, the Chris Pratt and
He's bored and decides he wants some pussy, so he basically kills a woman by waking her up and forcing her to live with him and forcing her into a life that she didn't ask for. Fuck you, Chris Pratt. Fuck you so hard.
Jennifer Lawrence's character is like, oh man, she was pissed in that movie too. Which of course I'd be pissed too if it was a situation like that.
I wouldn't talk to the guy if he did that to me. There's a very small chance he'd end up in an airlock somewhere, blown out into space. I would never tolerate that human. And the fact that it ends like happily and them like living together and having kids and like all, oh my god, no, absolutely not. There's no world.
You would not deal with that. A lot of the cast members from Aliens wound up in Near Dark. That's a Queen saying. Bill Paxton, Lance.
Oh yeah, it's got a bunch of Aliens alumni. It's got the guy who plays Bishop. It's got Bill Paxton. It's got someone else. I can't remember, but there's a bunch of Aliens alumni in that film. I mean, she was married to Cameron. I
gotta watch that. I'm putting it on my list. I gotta boot it up here.
Like I said, Near Dark is one of the most brilliant films I've ever seen, but has one of the worst endings of any film I've ever seen. It's such a dumb ending.
That happens. Like they lost it at the end.
I will always recommend people watch it because it is so good until the ending. Like, oh my god, is it good?
And Caspian, you're spicy out there in the chat right there. Yeah, Pepstar been so quiet. Yeah, Pepe's he's tired. Look, he's laying down. He's a little tired. He's been doing his thing.
Skip it. Hard for him to talk over me. It was competition this time.
It's true. It's tough sometimes. Pepe's listening. She's enthralled. He's having a great time. He's enjoying himself. So, right, Pepe, you doing good, right, Pepe?
Want to go?
Huh? I don't want to go, man. Where do you want to go? I'm not. Just calm down. Just calm down.
Give me a snickety snack.
I'll always go with you, Pepe.
Uh-oh, there you go. Yeah, Pepe, you better what? Ooh, Peppy, yes. Ooh. But guys, yes, a lot of horny vampire things out there. It's not, maybe R.L. Stine will make a horny vampire thing one time. But his Stine
Did
Tinglers.
you read the Fear Street books at all?
I have never read the Fear Street books. No, I was more of the Goosebumps person.
I don't know how those were allowed to be given to kids. They were so sexually explicit.
Were they really?
So horny, yeah. Were really
Maybe he just had to get that all out because he was doing the kid stuff for so long. But they're doing an animated version of the Stine Tinglers, which is going to be coming out. Which I'm like, first time animated. That's what they're saying. First time animated series too. And he's been done so well with, of course, the Goosebumps series, and of course, as you're saying too. But like, this is about an idyllic town called Blooming Hills, where unknown forces unleash chilling terrors on local teens. Pretty broad, pretty open. I like me some R.L. Stine, but I know I wish they would have done more Goosebumps. Toot. Viewer beware, you're in for a scare. Sup, King?
Rebooting or bringing back like old TV series. I'm not always a big fan of that kind of stuff, but I think if you want to make anthology horror for kids, and that's your goal is anthology horror for kids, you really should reboot Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, I love that show. So good.
Like, it gives you an opportunity to give you some kids to relate to sitting around the fire, because that was one of the things about it, was like the kids that sat around the fire and told the stories were good in and of themselves, like they were interested in them, but then the stories were so Tales from the Crypt, like open, like the ability to just come in and do like whatever. Whereas when you work in the realm of R.L. Stine's Goosebumps, you are constricted to the Goosebumps world, because Goosebumps kind of is similar to Stephen King in a lot of ways, where his universe connects. And there's all this crossover with whatever's going on in this Goosebumps book with this book, so you have to keep that universe intact. Whereas something like Are You Afraid of the Dark was so open source. There's nothing connecting it to anything, and so there's not a commitment to anything, and so it opens a door of endless creativity, which is better.
And the kids were good in it too, and the stories were fun too, and it was kind of like episodic.
That's just Canadian. Boom.
They were Canadian, weren't they?
Yeah. Some of the best horror comes out of Canada all day. Canada are like leaders in horror. Both
I
on
gotta say
television and film.
The new Goosebumps isn't like it used to be, and they try to do all these different spin-offs that just don't work as well. So do you think that they would ruin Are You Afraid of the Dark if they did it these days? Because it works so well on Snick, it works so well,
I don't think it would be ruined based on trying to build that attachment to the past one. Obviously, the kids from the original series are adults, probably have their own kids. You could make the show be about the kids of the adults from the series if you really
but just
wanted
put Chalamet in there,
I mean, it doesn't. But I mean, here's the thing with that, like, as much as you're like Chalamet, but like low budget. Like the whole point of that show was it was low budget, and the fact that it was shot in Canada kept the budget down even more. So it like really low budget. Bring in like low budget actors. You don't need a bunch of big names. You don't need whatever. Because a lot of the big names that did appear on Are You Afraid of the Dark were like Canada big name actors. Like I was a kid and I was like, oh, it's so and so. But like most people down here were not like super familiar. So like, I mean, there's an opportunity to bring in smaller actors and smaller things and make cheaper content than a lot of things. Like I love hearing that Long Walk was $20 million. I would love to hear that it was $10 million even more though.
I would too. That's what A24 did forever, is $10 million.
I love hearing that you're making your films for cheap, because the cheaper you're making something, like the more opportunities that opens the door for people. Like it gives more actors and more people in the industry opportunities and things like that. And so, let's bring back that over bringing more heavily licensed property in. No more like Goosebumps and something more open source. Because I would even love Goosebumps. I was so excited to hear that Tales from the Crypt was coming back when M. Night Shyamalan was doing it, and that was one of the few things where I was like, I think Shyamalan is good for this. I also thought Shyamalan wouldn't be too bad for Twilight Zone when they were rebooting it, but
no, not at all.
Like I think like that's an area where he would actually be okay, and that was something I could see doing well. But at the end of the day, the thing that made Tales from the Crypt so great was that it was just this open playing field that any actor could go into and do something that is completely untraditional to Hollywood and have some fun. And Like it really created this like environment of like openness of creation. There were so many interesting different ideas. You could ground it in reality. You could go like really, really like astral horror if you wanted. You had so many opportunities to do whatever the hell you want, all within the horror realm. And I prefer content like that. The other one that was really good that was Stephen King based was that one based on his books, the short story book that came out like a couple years ago.
Oh.
I can't remember what it was. Was it
I'm not sure.
Nightmares and Dreamscapes? I think is what it was. Nightmares and Dreamscapes was the show,
Oh.
and they had
I'll
this
tell you
story
this.
of a guy living in his house with these little army men trying to kill him, little plastic
What?
army men.
Oh, that reminds
me. It was one of the
reminds
best
me of
things
something
I've
else.
seen. Like I was like, I want to see more things like that.
I'll tell you this though, like when it came to like Tales from the Crypt, I actually just put one of the movies on when I was home this past couple weeks. Random movie, lots of boobs. That's all I can say. Lots of boobs, right? I was kind of shocked by it.
Dennis Miller's like what? Only film? Only very film? Like Dennis Miller's so good in that movie too. Like that is one of the best movies. 2, 4, 6, 8. You can watch me masturbate.
My uncle's like, this is a dirty movie. I'm like, apparently it is. I don't remember this at all. Super dirty.
Bordello vampires
It's crazy. And then the chat, remember,
is one of the best movies ever made.
Don't Look Under the Bed. You ever see that? Don't Look Under the Bed. That sounds familiar.
Yes, I have seen that.
Yeah, and also Queen said Masters of Horror. I remember hearing of Masters of Horror.
The first season was great. The second season really fell flat, and I don't know where it went wrong. Specifically, the John Carpenter one. The John Carpenter one in the second season about the abortion clinic was the worst thing I've ever watched. And I was like, Carpenter is a phenomenal writer.
Yeah.
It's one thing he can do right. So I was I really
like, what are you doing, John Carpenter?
Yeah, I don't know. The second season of that show fell flat. And Masters of Horror was a great opportunity for, people who are masters of their genre being able to go and just kind of do like a little piece that they've always wanted to do, anything at all that they've ever wanted to do. And I think that's a great, giving directors the opportunity to do whatever the hell they want in a very short format is a beautiful thing. As a filmmaker, as a creator of any kind, having the opportunity to just kind of like get an hour of doing whatever the hell you want.
Just go for it. I love it too. And it's also like a great creative space for those people to just be able to like put that out there, which doesn't happen. Like, usually the studio's involved and they're to say they want to hold back. That's why I love A24 usually gives more like power of that too at a lower budget, like we talked about before. They're trying to get to that $50 million budget now. That's why the Smashing Machine was not a great idea for that, because you're losing money now.
It's like I said last night though in the chat, like with that movie, not to like go back to that or whatever, but I was like, I think it's really infuriating when we look at box office numbers based around individualized films, like a film like this. This is a dramatic film that I genuinely, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, I think that The Rock has full potential to win Academy Award for. I think that when you look at people not running to the box office to watch it, like it doesn't matter. Like unless you're building a franchise, box office numbers are completely irrelevant. And because you're not getting a sequel to it, right? We're not making the Smashing Machine 2. I guess it established The Rock is a good enough actor and we should bring him into more things. But I think like if you give a good acting performance and you're not blacklisted from the industry, that people will pull you in and work with you and put you in other things. Like people will see the potential in you, especially the people that need to see the potential in you. So
it's going to happen with The Rock. It's going to happen.
Failing. The Rock's performance in the movie looks amazing, and the change that he's gone through to be the character in the film, wonderfully done. I think this is like the first time we're ever going to see the Rock really acting, and
I think so too.
I think that's more beautiful than how much money did it make in the box office. Who gives a crap how much money it made in the box office? I want to see him do more dramatic roles.
Pain and Gain, he was great too. You said it last night though. Pain and Gain was a great one.
The ability to step outside of their realm of comfort and do something different deserves credit for doing it, no matter how it turns out.
Yeah.
If you go in and you look and you say, maybe this isn't your wheelhouse, I don't care. I appreciate that you went out and did it. Please do it. Please do more things. I want
something more. Put yourself out there.
I want to see more comedians do dramatic roles. I want to see more dramatic people do comedic roles. Yeah. Look at the Naked Gun. Leslie.
It was so good. Liam Neeson was so fun. It was fun. It was out there. It was ridiculous.
That guy has done nothing but serious dramatic work for so long. It was like He loved making that movie, and I haven't seen it yet, and I desperately want to. It looks
He said,
great.
they go, why would you do this movie? He goes, the paycheck was nice. And he left, and he goes, it's just something different for me. And I thought he was awesome in it. This is really fun. People didn't watch as much. It didn't make money, like $100 million on a $40 million budget. So it made money. Hopefully they do more. But I thought it was a great movie. Pamela Anderson was great in it too. I loved it. So and it was fun. It was outside the box.
My favorite movies is Naked Gun 33 1/3.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
When they have the kid from Home Alone and they're dragging him down the stairs to try to get him the information out of him.
They just have fun at those movies. They just have fun. I think it was the first one, the second one, OJ, where he went flying down the stands and launched out in the field. They just have fun with these things. They do a lot of those kind of like spoof kind of fun things too during Naked Gun. So they do a lot of that. And Ryan, I missed some of the chat here. So John said Ryan Gosling, Goosebumps. He might have been. And Queen said Twilight Zone keeps getting revived and then canceled 100%. What's up, Goose Thumper? Good to see you back. I love the stash. Thank you so much. There's a conversation about Paul Rudd. Yep, Paul Rudd stuff's happening today, guys.
Reviving the Twilight Zone. We need to stop reviving Twilight Zone specifically. First of all, if you want to revive something, we can always try Outer Limits again. That's another one that's in the bag. There's The Hitchhiker. There's Tales from the Dark Side. There is Perversions of Science, which I would love to see come back. I mean, if you want me to sit here and list anthology horrors that deserve a second chance, I can do this all day. That's my genre. I love anthology horror. And growing up, we had so many options in the 90s and late 80s of anthology horror things. And the lack of it, and not just horror, science fiction too. Ray Bradbury Presents. All that stuff. I miss anthology television. I miss single serving stories. Something that I can go into and not have a commitment to the series and not be I haven't watched the first 4 seasons or I haven't watched 16 movies to understand what the hell is going on in this show. Something where I can just come in and turn it on for the first time and go, wow, that was great, and get something different every single time. Yeah. That's what we need.
And that makes it actually especially in this world today, and it's you just want to pop something on fast and watch something, you don't have time to binge it. You just pop it on and watch it. That's why I think those definitely have a place.
There's always a place for single serving TV.
Yeah, and that used to be the way of TV back in the day. I do like a good through line, but I do think they do serve really well. This happened with Black Mirror did so great because of that too. Because Black Mirror just seriously is pop it on, you watch episode. There's no. Then they said there's some breadcrumbs in there too, but overall it's its own story.
We could bring back Erie, Indiana. That show was the best. One. It was a great show. Once again, kids anthology horror. We had such good kids anthology horror growing up. We had that one and Tales from the
Tales from the Dark Side.
Tales from the Dark Side. The one we were just talking about. The Kids at the Campfire. Oh my god.
Oh, Afraid of the Dark. Are you afraid of the dark? Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. You get my point. Yeah. I could ramble with that. But yeah, we had a really good selection of that stuff growing up. I would love to see more of that stuff done. And also, does anybody know The Midnight Cafe? Is anybody familiar with that show?
Never heard about that.
Robert Englund as the main guy in it, and it was about 2 people who died in a cafe and were trapped in a cafe that would take them between subspaces. So every time they'd open a door in the cafe, they could either end up in dinosaurs or hovering in space or all this kind of stuff. And it was one of the best shows I've ever watched. And it was essentially anthology
on
horror,
NBC.
People, yeah.
And the Outer Limits Queen said, and Wheelchair Gamer question, The Rock overworked because he has 20 plus movies. The Rock's doing too much. They actually have doubles a lot of times for him so he can be on multiple productions at one time, which maybe is, people are getting used to hearing about that. I think just focus on one project at a time, Rock. Don't do it too much. Maybe that's also causing problems for his career. I don't know. But The Rock is going to win an Oscar, I feel at some point. We're all The Rock just won an Oscar? And it could be for this. His Mark Kerr performance, even if you don't know who he is, looks great.
I want to say Oscar for this one. I want to say that. But I'm going to lean towards Golden Globe.
You're right. You're right. He has to get the Golden Globe first.
That's where I'm going. I think he's going to win an award. I didn't say which award. Because remember last time when Brandon Fraser did The Whale, and I predicted that he was going to win for that, and I was correct. But this one, I don't know necessarily that he's going to get the Academy Award, but I definitely believe he's going to get an award, for sure.
And look at The Whale. I'm going to look at the bot. Okay, so The Whale, I bet The Whale made $57 million, The Whale, okay? So 57 million. Let's see what the budget was. Let's see. 'Cause I bet this isn't even a success either. The Whale. Let's see. So well, never mind. 3 million. They spent 3 million on it, so it was a big success. $3 million. Brendan Fraser took like a big. But then again, he was just coming back, so he's probably like to work with.
10 million of that film's budget went to Brendan Fraser.
Right? I mean, like, geez.
Genuinely, like, well, he doesn't care about the money anymore. Like, he's at a point in his career where he wants to do what he wants to do. He spent so much of his life being a machine in the system. Like, he had an eating disorder to keep his weight down so he could play all these roles that they wanted him to play, and that's how he was doing all these romantic comedies and all this kind of stuff. And like, his career up until this point has not really been his career. Like, he's just been a ride on the career, and he's whatever, and it's been hard for him, and he's had a lot of struggles. So to see him finally embrace his weight and take on these incredible dramatic roles. What was that movie that he was in with Don Cheadle? Was it Low Down Shame, where he's the cop going after like the guys, and he's like a bastard in the movie, like an absolute like asshole. And it was such a good movie.
Don Cheadle and Brendan Fraser. The Guard.
Is that what it was?
No, that's not it. That's not it.
It was one of the ones that they released on when they were putting out the WB stuff.
No, that's not it. No Sudden Move.
It might be No Sudden Moves.
Is that it? No Sudden Move?
It's got some kind of name like
that.
Yep,
No Sudden Move. Yep, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. That was a great movie.
I haven't seen that either. No Sudden Move.
Honestly, I like watching people when they're doing shifts. I think the best Adam Sandler films are Punch Drunk Love.
It's a great movie.
Cut Gems. I think his dramatic work is his best work. I think his
Little Nicky.
Garbage.
Popeye's chicken is fucking awesome. There's a so special place in my heart for Popeye's chicken. I'm just saying, it just is. And I know there's a special place in your heart for something else, Lexi, and that is, of course, this is interesting. The Knights of Genevieve. Now, I watched the first episode. I want to talk about this. We're getting close to the end for today, guys. So I want to talk about this for sure before we sail off. So I watched the first episode of this. It's very fascinating. It really is. The animation's awesome. It's dropping on YouTube. We're talking about transcending from normal television, movies, and all of that to the YouTube verse. And a lot of series are actually getting very popular there. And animations go in there now too. And this is the first pilot that came out for this. If you haven't seen this yet, it's worth checking out. I watched the first episode. It's like 26 minutes long. And it's really about like the world that we live in. It's really about like how I would say, Lexi, about big business always trying to control the narrative, but it's also about like consumerism. It's about people being held back. It's also about robots. It's a very fascinating premise. Yeah. And Genevieve's like everywhere, and they're all connected.
Yeah, the robots. It's gonna go into some really interesting subject matter for sure. So I'm gonna mess up her name. It's Dana Terrace.
Yeah,
I believe.
I butcher names all the time.
That's the person who did Owl House. So the woman who made Owl House, if anybody's familiar with Owl House, first of all, if you're LGBTQ, you know Owl House all day, and you know the story of Owl House, because it's really big in our community. But Owl House was a Disney show that was made that was gangbusters killed, and then in their second season somewhere, Disney started to meddle behind the scenes, sort of in the same way they did with Gravity Falls. And then even though the show was having the ratings, they came in and they were like, oh, we're going to cancel your show. So then they canceled their show, and then they were like, she's like, I didn't even get to finish my show. Like, I didn't, like, what the hell? Like, this is weird, and like, you didn't give me any opportunities, whatever. And they were like, okay, well, fine. Because the fan base is looking for it. We'll give you like 3 or 4 movies to kind of finish this guy up and get it done. So as an FU to the company, she just like went hard and filled it with LGBTQ content, and like every character is wearing some kind of like LGBTQ pin, and like the character became like a lesbian, and like they just pushed right into this whole thing. And Owl House is one of the best shows ever. It's basically like Rick and Morty for kids. like
Really?
for girls. Yeah, it's like girl Rick and Morty for like kids, because like the main witch character, she's basically Rick, but like in female form and stuff like that. So it's a brilliant show. It's one of the best shows I've ever seen on Disney.
The
Outside of
animation's
Gravity.
awesome as well too. That's the thing. The animation is so cool.
Yeah, stunning animation. One of the best animators out there, and they took her show from her. So her and one of the guys from Gravity Falls, because they also got their show taken from them. They've been working together with Glitch, and Glitch is the company that's doing Digital Circus. They did Murder Drones. They've got some other show that they're working on that's kind of stop motiony. Gaslight District, I believe it is. Gas Anthem District, something like that. That is another fascinating study in animation. And each one of these shows, even though they use a lot of computers for their stuff, Knights of Guinevere is their first 2D show they've ever done. So this is them stepping outside that realm. But also, I think it says a lot that we're in a space right now where the top animators in Hollywood are stepping out of Hollywood and they're going to work with YouTube channels. And Glitch right now Glitch and VisiPop are two of the most dominant production companies when it comes to animators. Like VisiPop is taking one half of Hollywood. They're definitely taking all of Hollywood's voice actors for sure. If you know any of the big talents in voice work, they're at VisiPop right now, like no question. And when it to like animators and stuff, like they're just tired of the grind. They're tired of the restrictions that Hollywood puts on them. They're tired of being told that their work can't be what it is. And so YouTube's giving them that outlet to produce exactly the kind of work that they wanted to produce. And so we're finally getting like a proper American made, more adult content, animated content, because America's always had a lack of adult, like we make sitcoms.
We love sitcoms. We love sitcoms.
So when we say we're going to make adult animation, we just make a sitcom. And then we make a billion sitcoms, same like kind of flat generic animation style and stuff. And it's not that they don't exist. I mean, we've got things like that one HBO show that got canceled that was all science fiction-y. I can't remember what that was called. It's a brilliant show. We've had a few things here and there, but Savage something or whatever. I mean, just don't do enough. And there's always been this push to see a more diverse pool of animated content, not just like sitcoms, but things that deal with like adult content, or things that deal with like sex, or things that deal with, murder or cop stuff, or, we want to try things that are grounded in reality. What was that show that came out recently about the people that were taking the mushrooms that was on Adult Swim, that was done by Mike Judge? I think I talked about it on your show before.
People were taking the mushrooms.
Yeah, it's like this blue mushroom that like basically like cures everything. Like if you die, it'll bring you back to life and stuff like that. Mike Judge did it.
Common side effects.
Common side effects.
Yeah.
That is like, to me, that was really like a real breaking point in our animation in this country of like stepping into that realm and things like that. And I really want to see more of that show. That show is brilliant. But
Well, the cool thing about this, like Guinevere, what's happening here is the fact that you are putting animation, like a big high concept animated show on YouTube, and the voice acting is great. The animation looks cool. The big giant robot was really awesome. She's fighting Guinevere. Being the whole idea of them all being connected, that's awesome to me too. It's like the fact they have all the same memories. But I'm not saying it's a high concept, and you don't see things like this on YouTube, but you're seeing it more, which is again where we keep talking about how YouTube is becoming like the new form of television everywhere now, and it's like the biggest network ever. And it's only get bigger when you have more content like this.
And with that same content, like I just talked about VisiPop. VisiPop has just picked up Hell of a Boss, Amazon has picked up Hell of a Boss finally, and they have the second season of Has Been Hotel coming out, which both of those shows are quite possibly one of the best animated modern series I've ever seen. The animation is phenomenal. They're on their own. The music is great. They get some great voice talents in those shows. Like, I will watch anything VisiPop puts out. And Netflix has picked up Digital Circus. So Digital Circus is now being picked up on.
They're grabbing everything.
Platforms. And so that's opening that door to bringing those YouTube animators into more mainstream content. My worry with that, though, is that once you start working with Netflix, or once you start having your content on Netflix, will Netflix come in and try to like shut certain things down? If people get weird about, like what's going on right now with Netflix and the controversies around that. Will that affect, Glitch and their animation team? How will that affect Glitch and their
Could.
animation team? Like,
People like to get involved with all that. They like to get their fingers in those and stop things. So it could happen.
It's weird to like exist in this place where like you want success in your life. It doesn't matter what it is. Like you want to succeed. And then you reach this point where you're like, the success is being offered to me, but in order to have that success, I also have to give up so much. And I'm like, at what point does the success no longer matter and the need to produce a quality piece of content become more of your focus than anything?
Well,
because
that's the problem with show business. It's like the idea is like you want to do your creative, you want to be like that inspirational, like getting this off your chest, getting this idea out on paper, but then there's still the idea of making money. And as we were saying too, it's like a lot of these don't make money anymore. Like people aren't making money in the box office, people make money on TV like they used to. Everyone's saying Hollywood is dying now. And we have to find a way to make money and still be creative and not just become a machine of, like, of course, AI is a whole thing with that too, like pumping things out as opposed to actually using this.
Remaking God knows what now. Whatever stupid fucking thing that they want to remake. They're remaking something remaking Cujo or remaking this. So you're over here remaking. And YouTubers are over here creating original content. In an open source that you don't have any control over. And you wonder why they're doing it. And you wonder why it's thriving. You wonder why your system's failing. Because you won't play that game. You won't create that original content. Do you remember the 80s? Do you remember the 80s Hollywood? Do you remember that time period where you opened a door to more creative, individualized projects, and those projects became the franchises that you now base all of your fucking stuff off of for the last 30 years? Do you understand that, right? Like
they're still grabbing that content and rebooting it and trying to hold on to that gold, that 80s gold. They're still trying to harness that.
You let independent creators create those things. You got there through independent creations. Things that weren't connected to anything. Things that didn't have a franchise backing it. You took those risks. You spent very little money in the process of it, and you ended up with nothing. So, will Knights of Guinevere succeed? I absolutely think it's going to be gangbusters. I think we're going to see a killer first season. I think we're going to get at least 2 seasons out of it. I think it's going to take a few years because the distribution system is... They release an episode as soon as they make it. So it's not the same as like making an entire season and then putting it out. Like they'll kind of put an episode together and then just drop it as soon as it's made. So you don't get that consistency of like a whole season dropped and that kind of stuff. But even though you get a trickle of it, the trickle that you get is worth the drink.
And it has 13 million views right now. That's 13 million views. So it's not like there's like nobody's watching it. So I was like,
it's a big discussion online right now, which is great. And it's like, this is what we needed to be doing with YouTube, not Mr. Beast. Like, this is what we needed. Like, and even though like Busy Pop and Glitch are 2 of like the big names, don't stop going on YouTube and looking for independent animation, because YouTube has become the home of some of the best independent animation I've ever seen in my life. Shorts are all over YouTube. There's always animated shorts being offered to me. There's always people putting out, pilots for episodes of things. I watch pilots for episodes all day long on YouTube. I see so much potential. So many beautiful animators out there. So many people who could create wonderful original content and don't need a huge team of people behind them. And I think that's really important to realize, is that we don't need those big teams. We don't need all that kind of stuff. We just need people who are committed to working and are not put in a position that they have to grind, because nobody should have to grind. And if you're in a position of grinding, then you need help, right? But you should never have to have a team of 50 billion people to do it either. Like,
well, that's why it's evolving a lot. I mean, I still like the golden era of cinema with like the whole crew to make like a big blockbuster movie, but that's like logistic stuff why you have that many. But when you're doing content like this, you don't really need that many people anymore. But you need more than one person. I tell you that. One person can't do everything, but they can. But it is nice to have a few people to help you out.
There are a few animators out there who do everything by themselves.
It's wild to me, but they just do.
That's been the thing. Like, I hate that about the modern world. Like, I blame YouTube 100% for this. Like, when I was in film school, I focused on camera operation. My focus was camera operation. When I got out of school, I wanted to be a camera operator and I wanted to work in the field. Like, those were my focuses. Like, I really wanted that. So when I was in school, I didn't focus on editing. I wasn't a good editor. I don't like computers. I'm not a very tech savvy person, but I can shoot all day. So if you want, me to go out in the field and shoot your content and shoot, all this, I thrive. But the second that I have to start editing my own work, the minute I have to start dealing with websites and dealing with internet things and all this kind of stuff, I shut down. And I was like, I need a person for that. I need a help for that. And I'm like, but we've trained everybody to think that they have to do it all by themselves. So we've got this whole generation that comes
Especially
up,
in
and
this
I'm like,
verse.
it's good that you're capable of doing everything. Like, you should be capable of, like, I appreciate that you're capable of doing everything. But what are you doing at its best? Like, if you're doing everything, you're not doing everything to the best of its ability. Like, having the best camera operator is much nicer than being made to worry about filming your stuff and then worrying about how you're going to edit it later. Like, I should be able to focus on shooting and I should be able to give you that footage, and you should be able to focus on editing, and you should be able to focus on lighting, and you should be able to focus on, and you should be able to come out of that the best that you can be, instead of having to do so many things.
I agree. It's like you get too many hats. Sometimes you're going to lose something along the way. The vision, the idea. You can't shoot, act, write, direct, do the crafty. You can't do it all. You just can't. I mean, I've done it. Trust me. But it's not. You're going to suffer someplace. No. You'll find out usually in post.
And then you wonder why you're having, like, why YouTubers are burning out and having mental breakdowns and stuff. Yeah, because you're doing everything. Because you don't have a team of people helping you.
It's nonstop. It's just destroying you. Well, I know there's got to be a pretty decent team behind the Knights of Guinevere, though, right? There's got to be a pretty decent team.
You've got guys from Gravity Falls and from friggin' Owl House, and they're some of Disney's top animators. Disney lost. Y'all lost. Disney's inability to step outside of this box of family-friendly comfort is getting exhausting. It's ruining everything. It's ruining so much content. Because if you don't think this shit doesn't seep into the Fox side of things, if you don't think that it's not seeping into Alien and Predator and all this kind of stuff, it is. It absolutely is. I'm like, they're still more willing to let that stuff be a little bit more XY, but they're not gonna,
They're learning from it. They're growing from it. They're developing based off it, though. They're watching the algorithm. They're watching what people are watching. They're paying attention. Because they have to. The media is changing. The business is changing. They don't like to keep good. Disney operates like sports teams. They don't like to keep the good players. I mean, that happens too.
That algorithm, though, let's look at Velma. Like, remember Velma?
Oh, Velma, yeah.
Velma was vehemently hated by every single person who watched it. But also, people went and watched it because people hated it. If something is bad and people are hating it and saying it's one of the worst products they've ever seen made, the answer isn't to go and engage with it.
Now they're intrigued, though. I want to see it.
Let's step away from this. Well, I mean, there are exceptions.
Morbius was one. They brought it back to theaters because people were hating on it so much. Let's bring it back to theaters. I'm like, well, no, don't bring it back to theaters. It's not Morbin time. It's, no. Sorry, Jared. We'll see. Hopefully your Tron's going to do better than that. Hopefully.
Morbius is such a cool character, too. And it's such a shame. I haven't seen the film, but
yeah, right?
I used to read those comics when I was a kid, The Last Vampire. I was like, those are great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued by all of that. I think it's, the business, though.
Sucked blood through his hands, though. Did they do that in the movie?
I don't know.
Like, his hands were like leeches. Like, he would put them on people and he could suck them.
I don't remember that. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, Lexi. Well, we'll see where the Knights of Guinevere goes too. And Axe, thanks for joining us too. This is Kickin with Kruse. That's what this is. And we're having a great time. I appreciate you being here, Lexi. We're having fun. I think we're gonna call it though. I think I bounced. I gotta get moving. But I appreciate you being here. Thanks for being here.
Check out Nice of Guinevere, everybody. Go watch
Check it out.
Give it the views. Let it thrive. Let it grow.
Let it thrive, let it grow, let it go. we always we have a plan, but we always go all over the place. Which I love about that too, because it's nice that we can talk about so many different things. We venture off, and it's always a great conversation having here, Lexi.
Yeah. I'm a rambler. I'm a rambler.
hey, that's great. I appreciate it. It's fun. It's fun talking because we always find like interesting at times, but on the chats bring stuff up, and I'm always like, oh, that's what we're going to. But I love it. So thanks for being here, Lexi. Appreciate you. We'll do it again sometime. How about next week?
I'm here.
Thanks for being here, Pep Star,
The
too.
Pep Star is Brat.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Anyways, appreciate you being here, guys. Gotta roll. Take care. Be back again tomorrow night for original Cruise Control show at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tonight, though, I'm launching the very first episode of Walking and Talking, my new podcast. We're walking around Los Angeles, talking about the business and showing you how connected the business actually is and the city. So, that new episode will launch tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Check that out, guys. Appreciate you being here, Lexi, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Until next time, everybody. See ya.